What is going on, guys? Welcome back to TVandME. It is time for The Walking Dead again. It's time for Season 2, Episode 8. Jeez, we're getting through this fast. So, what an episode last one. The mid-season finale did not disappoint. Those last 5 minutes defined the whole episode, in my opinion. It was shocking, traumatic, exciting in a weird way. And it was a moment which I think will stick with me for the rest of the series, because I did not expect it. At that moment, even though it sounds wrong, I had completely forgot about Sophia. I'm a bit ashamed to admit I did not recognise Sophia at first when she came out of the barn, but you know, so many characters, I only saw Sophia a few times, but the second her name was called out and I heard Carol running forward screaming her name, that was it. That was the moment, that was the shock, that was the moment of the episode which I can only really focus on, if I'm honest. The only other thing I can really remember about the episode is Shane's warpath and the fact he went after Dale to get the guns, even though Dale didn't want to give them to him because he knew exactly what he was going to do. He knows what kind of person Shane is, and he tried to hide them unsuccessfully, and Shane got his hands on them, and then all this crap happened. Like I said last time as well, the most annoying thing is knowing that Rick had talked Herschel around to letting them stay, and they would have had a stable place in order to have Laurie's baby and Rick or Shane's baby. But let's be honest, Herschel is just going to kick him out now because they did the one main thing he didn't want them to do. Like I said last time, they should have compromised. Shane should have waited, he should have listened, he should have talked to Rick first, because Rick was trying to talk Herschel around to letting them stay, but I guess Shane didn't know, but that's his own fault for running in like a ball in a china shop. I guess in this episode we're going to see the fallout of Shane's decision, and best case scenario, they just get kicked out of the farm, they leave. Worst case scenario, there could be deaths. And the thing is, even though Shane's the one that's a bit of a loose cannon at the minute, the fact Herschel was hiding Sophia, and he knew he was hiding Sophia, may make Daryl lose the plot a bit. Maybe Daryl would take his frustration out on Herschel. I'm a bit worried about that. I don't want Daryl to suddenly act out, because let's be honest, Daryl is a good person, but I feel like his go-to reaction to something that he doesn't like is violence, but I think that's mainly because of his upbringing and because of his brother Merle. So he may just lash out, which I hope he doesn't do, because I know he's a good person at his core and I know he cares about Sophia, but I hope he just doesn't respond with violence. My other question on that whole thing as well is whether Maggie knew, and if Maggie knew that Sophia was in the barn as well, will Glenn distance himself from her? Will he blame her for knowing and not telling the group as well? My guess at the minute is that Maggie didn't know. I don't think she knew, because she seemed to give Glenn the all clear when they were shooting the zombies. So it may be a shock to her as well. And if that is the case, then maybe if the group leave, Maggie will leave with them, because she cares for Glenn. She knows now her dad is a liar after giving him that speech about what kind of person does he want to be. One thing I do have, the one bit of hope, is that this shocking set of events that happened with like the group killing all his family members, maybe that will shock him into realizing that they weren't the people that they were before. Maybe this big shock will suddenly bring him round and out of this state of mind where he was thinking they were just sick. It's a long shot, I don't think he will, but I think there's maybe an inkling that he may, or maybe Maggie will talk him round to the idea. Let's just leave the recap there. I've probably forgotten a shit ton of stuff, but let's be honest, the main thing of that episode was the reveal of Sophia, which was amazing, and I'm guessing this episode will be about the fallout of that whole set of circumstances, so let's just get straight into it. This is Season 2, Episode 8. Straight back into it, eh?
Don't walk. Wait.
Mom.
Someone missed a headshot. Jesus.
You knew, and you kept it from us.
I didn't know.
That's bullshit. I think y'all knew.
We didn't know.
Why was she there?
Otis put those people in the barn. Maybe he found her and put it in there before he was killed.
Went ahead, had us out in those woods looking for a little girl that every single one of us knew was dead. That's what you did. Rick, you just as delusional as that guy.
Problem with Shane is he thinks he speaks for the whole group.
I have to ask you. Did you know she was in the barn? Okay.
She can't get offended at that. That's a reasonable question.
This one was different.
So what happens now?
We bury her. With your stepmom and your stepbrother.
Oh, it's a stepbrother, not stepsister.
Want us to start burying?
We need a service. Carol would want that.
Yeah, we all want that.
Let's dig a grave for Sophia and Annette and Sean.
And the others? That's a lot of digging.
We bury the ones we love and burn the rest.
She was there all the time.
And you did everything you could.
Yeah, I know. I always do, don't I? Went after her, protected her. Killed those walkers, but she still got bit. Carl still got shot. People counting on me, and I had him chasing a ghost in a forest.
He's got nothing to blame himself for. He was doing everything right. He was looking, keeping that part of the group satisfied. He was trying to secure a home somewhere safe. He's got nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever. Him, however.
What do you do to keep this camp safe, huh? What do? You fix up an RV? You babysit some guns? Now, you pointed one on my chest, right? But you couldn't pull that trigger, could you? I smashed that barn open. I saved Carl. That's me. That ain't you. That ain't Rick. That's me.
There we have it.
Tell you what, Dale.
He's jealous.
Next time I need a radiator hose, I give you a call, man.
He's jealous. Just gave it away there. He's comparing himself to Rick. He's seeing Rick doing so well, and he's got the woman he loves, and he's gonna have the child.
That's not my little girl. It's some other thing. My Sophia was alone in the woods. All this time, I thought she didn't cry herself to sleep. She didn't go hungry. She didn't try to find her way back. Sophia died a long time ago.
She's right in a sense, I suppose. She didn't suffer. Hopefully it was quick. Tell you what, they've all been a lot more reasonable about this whole situation than I gave them credit for, which I'm impressed with, to be honest. It's a sight to behold. His fucking arm just dangling down. Oh, of course. I wondered why the arm was dangling. Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
So if your group leaves, you wouldn't stay?
I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, do you think this is really the time to discuss this, Sammy?
Well, I'm not really feeling like there's a lot of time for anything.
No, there is. I'd want to.
Oh my God.
She passed out.
Sweetie, can you hear me?
What's wrong with her?
Shock.
She might be in shock. Where's Herschel?
We can't find him anywhere.
What's the bar in town?
Hatlands. He practically lived there in his drinking days.
And that's where I'll find him.
Yeah, I've seen the place. I'll take you.
All right, I'll get the truck.
Okay.
No,
It's an easy run.
like the pharmacy.
Hey, Maggie. I'll bring him back.
That was different.
Famous last words. Don't let anything happen to Glenn.
You want to have a... This is not the time to head off. Not today. You don't always have to...
I'm not arguing.
It's the least I can do for Herschel after we...
What? Do we what?
I had no idea she was in there.
I can't read Shane. One second he's cold, the next second he's like this.
Lori, he's dangerous. I think he killed Otis.
Otis was killed by walkers.
Oh
You
shit.
know how to handle walkers. Otis was the one who was putting them in the
You
barn.
need to be really clear with me right now. What are you saying?
I believe that Shane sacrificed Otis.
Shane may be a hothead, but he's not a murderer. And why would he kill somebody who's trying to help?
I don't know, maybe he was pinned down. I knew guys like him. And sooner or later, he's gonna kill somebody else.
Daley's a smart guy, man. That's the thing that I'm worried about. That even though Shane thinks he's doing the right thing, because he's like just so direct and so focused on something, he's going to get someone else hurt with his actions.
Listen to me, Olive Oil. I was out there looking for that little girl every single day. I took a bullet and an arrow in the process. Don't you tell me about me getting my hands dirty. You want those two idiots? Have a nice ride. I'm done looking for people.
The thing I've noticed about Daryl is he's very childish in the way he reacts to situations. I think because of the traumatic childhood he had, he sort of stayed in that childish state of mind. This isn't going to end well, Laurie going after him. Why does she feel the need to go after him though? I mean, she knew Rick... Oh god, what's going to happen? Oh my fucking god, Laurie! Seriously! Why was she going after Rick?
Just go. But when Shane shot Lou in the chest, and she just kept coming, that's when I knew what an ass I'd been. That Annette had been dead long ago, and I was feeding her rotten corpse. That's when I knew there was no hope.
And now there are people back at home trying to hang on, and they need us. Even if it's just to give them a reason to go on, even if we don't believe it ourselves.
Son of a bitch.
Who the hell?
They're alive. I hate to piss in your cornflakes, officer, but, we ran across a grunt who was stationed at Benny. Said the place is overrun by lame brains.
Wait, Fort Benny is gone? Are you for real?
Sadly, I am. Yeah, it doesn't look like you guys are hanging your hats here. You hole up somewhere else?
Oh no, don't tell him.
Not really.
Well, we're thinking of setting up around here. Is it safe?
It can be.
He's fishing.
Well, I've killed a couple walkers around here.
So what? You guys set up on the outskirts or something? A new development? Trailer park or something? Farm? So listen, Glenn.
We've said enough.
Well, hang on a second. This farm sounds pretty sweet. Don't it sound sweet, Tony?
Yeah, real sweet.
Yeah, how about a little southern hospitality?
I'm sorry, we can't.
We can't take in anymore.
How about you point it away from him?
Just friends having a drink, that's all.
But the farm is too crowded as is. I'm sorry. You'll have to keep looking.
Keep looking. Where do you suggest we do that?
Fuck. Rick's not messing around. Holy shit. That's not how I expected that situation to go down at all. That was Shane-esque the way he did that. So that episode went down nothing like I expected. Jeez, first off, everyone's reaction was so understated to what I thought it would be. I mean, from Herschel's to Rick's to Carol's to Daryl's to Shane's, just everyone's reaction was really low key, and it shocked me a bit. I'll be honest. I expected fireworks, I expected arguments, I expected accusations, but even though a few things were said, like Herschel said he wanted him off his farm, Herschel took up drinking for the whole of like an hour, things actually went pretty smoothly, and Herschel did what I suggested he might do at the beginning of this episode, that the shock would sort of wake him up and make him realise that these walkers weren't people anymore, they were dead already. And it seems that did work. So even though Shane went about it in a truly awful way, it worked. I mean, there's a few characters who are a bit traumatized by the whole event, like Carol. She's just sort of wandering about, a bit dazed, and the other young girl with Herschel's, I don't know the character's name, she went into shock. So it affected few people in a negative way, but overall it seems Shane's actions, no matter how blunt they were, have worked. To be honest as well, in that last scene there, it looked as though Herschel has accepted Rick again. It seems as though he's accepting the group back again, so who knows, maybe they'll be able to stick at the farm. I went from him just straight kicking them out, I thought they would be on their way, to it looks like he's come round again, which is shocking. Staying on the topic of that last scene, holy shit, Rick took a page out of Shane's book and just executed without any thoughts, feelings. He just did what he needed to do. But the difference is between that situation and Shane's situation is Rick's situation needed quick action. Those two men were obviously fishing for information of where they were staying. If they had worked out where they were staying, and they sort of worked out that it was on a farm, I think they would have tried to steal, or they would have killed, or obviously they were just people out for their own good, in my opinion. For all I know, they could be family men and they're just trying to help their group survive, but from the way they came across, they seemed very, very cold. I have to say as well, I think Rick did the right thing in that situation, because you could see that the guy was reaching for his gun. That situation, I don't think anything else could have been done. You couldn't have talked to them. They were ready to shoot and kill. So at the end of the day, Rick did what he had to do. I do not blame him. And maybe that's a bit biased because of the way I've been speaking about Shane doing stuff like that. But I think there was no other way in that situation. Damn, I nearly forgot as well. Laurie was in a car crash. Why on earth was she going out after Rick and Glenn? It makes no sense to me. Why did she chase them out? She knew they were going to get Herschel, so why all of a sudden did she feel the need to chase them down? She knows Glenn has experience of going out. She knows Rick is able to handle himself with his gun and that. So why didn't she just stay put? Now that decision of hers is probably going to have horrible consequences. Whether she's hurt, I do not know. The crash didn't look too high speed, so I'm hoping it's just a bit of dazed. Maybe she'll be stuck because she drove away and the car's not working now, so she'll have to try and make her way back. But there's also the feeling, or I've got the feeling, that maybe that crash will cause her to lose the baby. The reason I say that is because from a writing standpoint, it will add a new element to the drama of the show. Also, just before that accident of Laurie's, Dale told Laurie about Shane possibly shooting Otis, and she seemed a bit shocked by it, and she called it murder, which, let's be honest, it was murder. He was perfectly fine, he was making his way out with Shane, and he's the one that shot him in the leg, beat him up, and then left him to the walkers. So, in a sense, is it manslaughter? Not really, because it was certain death, so I'd say it was on purpose as well, so it's definitely murder. Dale in this series seems to be like the know-it-all character. Like, he seems to know everything. You know, you only have to hint at something and he triggers and he knows, whether that's his vast worldly experience or whether he's just good at reading people. Dale has a fix on everyone, and he doesn't like Shane because, like Shane described, he's got a switch, and when that switch goes off, anything can happen. Thing is, you can see it is a switch with Shane, because when he was with Carol, he was really caring towards her. Whether that's him being caring, I don't know, or whether that's him trying to convince himself that he's a caring person, I have no idea. I don't know whether he's just doing that to prove to himself that he can be caring after what everyone said. One thing I've noticed with Shane as well recently is he seems to be pecking at Rick behind the scenes. Like, when he's talking to people, he's always saying negative stuff about Rick, like, oh, Rick wouldn't do this, Rick's not good enough for this, Rick. It's obviously the jealousy coming through, and I'm hoping after he's aiming the gun at Rick and stuff, I hope he doesn't try and follow through on that stuff, because jealousy is a hell of an emotion, and with him suffering from that, because Rick has got a lot of stuff he wants, he might do something stupid. That is about it, guys. It was a more subdued episode than I thought it'd be, but it was lit up at the end there with Rick and his gunslinger skills. But I really enjoyed the episode. A good episode, a solid one after the tragedy, which was last episode. Everyone seems to have come round, everyone seems to be working together again. There's a few ill feelings here and there, but I think people are going to come around. I think they're going to start getting on again, and I think they can actually build a community there at the farm. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for liking, commenting, and just watching. I appreciate all that stuff. Feel free to sub as well if you enjoy the videos. I'll be doing the whole series, so you can stick with me on my journey. Until next time, guys, I cannot wait. But until then, bye bye.